Some empires fall by war, some fade by choice, but few vanish without a trace. And yet, there once was a world empire, one so vast, so advanced it ruled across continents. And then it vanished. No war, no record, just ruins and silence. They called it Tartaria, but was it ever real or was it erased by something far darker? Now, I've read through many history books, but recently I found one detail missing. As I flipped through old maps, one name kept coming up, Tartaria. Yet our world today shows no signs of such an empire. How can that be? Was this world really here, and if so, where is it now? Now, these questions have led me down a rabbit hole of forbidden history, uncovering evidence they don't want you to see. If you're ready to dive into the deepest, darkest chapters of the past, let's begin. Here's what makes the mystery of Tartaria so captivating. Back in the day, the name Tartaria was everywhere. Look at this map from 1725. Tartaria covers a massive chunk of Russia, Eastern Europe, Northern Asia, and even parts of Alaska. It's labeled again and again in books, maps, and records. One Russian princess even married the King of France. But why do we know so little today? Some say there was a great reset, a sudden change that made everyone forget. How could such a huge empire just vanish? Well, the first sign of this global amnesia is in the streets. Take a gander at old pictures of cities like Moscow, Paris, St. Petersburg, and Cairo. There's something strange going on. Streets seem way too clean, almost sterile. And when you look closely at the buildings, it's like they're buried under layers of mud. This might seem crazy, but people actually call it the mud flood. Now, you might think it's just old photos with bad lighting, but hold on, because it gets weirder. When archaeologists dig into the streets, they find something shocking. Entire floors of buildings buried under meters of mud, things that shouldn't be there. These aren't natural disasters, they're not river floods or tides. Somehow a massive amount of mud covered these cities overnight. Why? Some say it's proof of the reset, a deliberate attempt to bury Tartaria's past. But wait, it gets crazier. Imagine walking around one of these buried cities. You spot an old chimney poking out of the mud. You brush it off thinking it's just debris. Then you notice more chimneys, all perfectly aligned. And when you dig deeper, what do you find? Whole buildings buried, but not leveled. It's like the city got sucked into the ground. Even the famous Red Square in Moscow has mysterious structures hidden under the mud. And get this, the same thing happened in different corners of Tartaria. It wasn't just one city. It was a pattern. Moscow, Paris, Cairo. And it's not limited to Europe or Asia. Look at Fort Pitt in Pittsburgh, USA. Same story, buried foundations and a lost past. Now, you might say it's just random discoveries, but how can so many places share the same mystery? What kind of power could cover entire cities in mud? What was it hiding underneath? Moving on, let's take a look at these star forts. They're scattered all over the place, from France to India to the Americas. These star-shaped forts are all built during the supposed era of Tartaria. They're huge, super strong, and look almost identical. This alone is weird, but the true mystery lies in their purpose. These forts are perfectly symmetrical. Their angles line up with astronomical events, eclipses and solstices. They might have been used to predict the future or maybe control the weather. And get this, they show up all over Tartaria. What was their secret purpose? Why were they built so close together? Some say these forts were part of an ancient global power grid, a Tartarian technology that harnessed free energy. It's a wild theory, but it explains why they're all designed the same. The symmetry might have helped them harness Earth's energy. But here's the catch. Scientists haven't uncovered any energy devices or blueprints. All we have are these forts and theories. Maybe the Tartarians built something incredible, but their knowledge was wiped away after the empire fell. Next, let's talk about the world's fairs. These events showcased the world's progress, inventions, and cultures. But here's the spooky part. The most impressive buildings and inventions were destroyed right after. Why build magnificent structures just to tear them down? Some say it's a clue pointing to Tartaria. In the late 1800s, world's fairs became a stage for relics of the past. People marveled at buildings that looked straight out of Egypt or Greece. Advanced inventions were displayed, hinting at a forgotten era of progress. And here's where things get creepy. After each fair, the exhibits were demolished. Why destroy something meant to showcase progress? Could it be to hide traces of Tartaria? These events could have been a subtle way to parade remnants of the Tartarian world before the public and then erase them once more. Imagine stumbling upon a relic of the past only to realize it's disappearing right before your eyes. That's the feeling you get from these fairs. Now, some might argue that destroying exhibits is just part of the event. They're temporary, meant to impress for a while and then move on. But consider this, why build grand structures if they're just meant to be temporary? And why destroy them right after the public's attention fades away? Is it possible these fairs were a secret display of Tartarian heritage, an attempt to reconnect with the past before erasing it once more? Then there are the giants, kids, and silence. Many who study old photos claim they see massive windows and doorways meant for giant humans. These gigantic entrances hint at a world where giants roamed, a world now erased from memory. And let's not forget the children. Back in the 1800s, thousands of children were shipped around the world with no parents or records. Where did they come from? Why were they moved secretly? Some historians speculate that these were the descendants of Tartarian royalty, hidden away to preserve their bloodline after the fall of Tartaria. They were the silent witnesses to a lost world, carried away to safety while others were purged. All this adds to the conspiracy. After Tartaria fell, those in power wanted to wipe away all traces of its existence. New governments, new religions, new history, all designed to erase the memory of what once was. And in this great reset, they succeeded. Today we're left with pieces of the puzzle. Buried cities, strange forts and whispers of giants. We keep finding clues, but the full picture remains hidden. Is it possible that Tartaria isn't just a forgotten empire, but a deliberate erasure? A world intentionally removed from existence, leaving us with nothing but fragments and shadows? Maybe, but here's the unsettling thought. What if the silence isn't just in the past? What if it's all around us still, today? We walk among the bones of Tartaria, among buildings we don't understand, symbols we can't decode, and energy we can't replicate. Sometimes in the silence of these forgotten cathedrals, in the symmetry of these hidden star forts, we feel something ancient watching back. It's as if Tartaria isn't gone, it's buried, waiting. And what's buried doesn't always stay dead. Thanks for watching. Remember, the scariest stories often come from history's shadows. Subscribe for more dark secrets they don't want you to know. Now check out this video about horrifying things found in old photos. And remember, in the darkest corners of history, there are some things they don't want you to see.